Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 questions on general knowledge. Let's take a look at our Quiz Class awards. And here they are. Let us know how you rank in the comments at the end, along with the answer to the bonus question. What color is the Monoi flower? Yellow, red, or white? White. What isn't a typical ingredient in a 3-in-1 drink? Sugar, coffee, or soy? Soy. Which beer company developed and pioneered the recycled aluminum can? Budweiser, Miller, or Coors? Coors. What creative course book was written by Julia Cameron? The Artist's Story, The Artist's Journey, or The Artist's Way? The Artist's Way. Which U.S. national park outside of Alaska has the largest grizzly bear population? Yellowstone, Glacier National Park, or Grand Teton National Park? Glacier National Park. What material is used with bricks to build a wall? Sawdust, varnish, or mortar? Mortar. What animal skin is typically used for an UGG boot? Sheep, kangaroo, or crocodile? Sheep. What nickname did American GIs give to duct tape? Stick it to 'em, 100 mile an hour, or GI's joiner? "100 mile an hour." Which pop star released the album 143 in 2024? Taylor Swift, Beyonce, or Katy Perry? Katy Perry. Which country was neutral in both World War I and World War II? Iran, Egypt, or Morocco? Iran. What shoe aspect features on the Zappos logo? Shoelace, shoe tongue, or the shoe sole? Shoe sole. What is happening to the speed of the Earth's rotation? It's slowing down, it's staying the same, or it's speeding up? It's slowing down. Which country is the only one that doesn't have a rectangular national flag? Bhutan, Nepal, or Uzbekistan? Nepal. Where in Central America is the cinder cone volcano Paracutin? Costa Rica, Mexico, or El Salvador? Mexico. Which film wasn't directed by Peter Weir? Atonement, Dead Poets Society, or The Truman Show? Atonement. Which microstate is the Bishop of Urgel the head of? Andorra, Vatican City, or Monaco? Andorra. In what year did the 2026 FIFA World Cup officially begin? 2023, 2024, or 2025? 2023. What is an endoglossic language? Indigenous, native, or instinctive? Indigenous. Where was the Lake Nyos disaster in 1986? Nigeria, Cameroon, or Chad? Cameroon. Which U.S. state has the highest export rank in 2025? Delaware, California, or Texas? Texas. Which airline introduced computerized reservations in 1963? Qantas, Malaysia Airlines, or Air Canada? Air Canada. Which writer is focused on in the 2017 documentary, The Center Will Not Hold? Sylvia Plath, Joan Didion, or Nora Ephron? Joan Didion. What is the capital of Canada's Yukon Territory? Whitehorse, Grey Wolf, or Black Bear? Whitehorse. Which product is not a brand name for paracetamol? Panadol, Tylenol, or Lysol? Lysol. Which of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's children was born in 2000? Wilma, Wilson, or Willow? Willow. Which sport won't debut at the 2028 Summer Olympics? Cricket, softball, or pickleball? Pickleball. What food is nicknamed B-dubs? Buffalo Wild Wings, Big Macs, or burger rings? Buffalo Wild Wings. Which brand uses the slogan, "Quality never goes out of style"? Wrangler, Gap, or Levi's? Levi's. In what part of the body is a stent placed? Artery, vein, or lungs? Artery. In which decade did exploratory expeditions to Mars begin? 1960s, 1970s, or the 1980s? The 1960s. Which brand is not one of the big four in fashion and beauty? Dior, Louis Vuitton, or Valentino? Valentino. What do scientists call the universe's average color? Space espresso, cosmic latte, or galaxy frappe? Cosmic latte. Which is not one of the two national anthems of New Zealand? God Defend New Zealand, God Save the King, or God Made Aotearoa? God Made Aotearoa. What is the harbor of Rio de Janeiro also known as? Guanabara Outlook, Guanabara Bay, or Guanabara Gulf? Guanabara Bay. Where is the katsu curry dish originally from? Malaysia, Japan, or India? Japan. How long was British parliamentarian William Wilberforce's 1791 Abolish the Slave Trade? 4 minutes, 40 minutes, or 4 hours? 4 hours. Who are the Big Blue Wrecking Crew? New England Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens, or the New York Giants? The New York Giants. What is the most widely spoken language by native speakers in continental Europe? German, Russian, or French? Russian. Which country was not majorly impacted by the March 2025 Myanmar earthquake? Myanmar, Thailand, or China? China. Which U.S. state received the most annual international visitors in 2023? California, Florida, or New York? New York. In which country did the Industrial Revolution begin? The UK, France, or Germany? The UK. What do the 4 rings on Audi's logo represent? 4 companies merged, 4 regions of Germany, or 4-wheel cars? 4 companies merged. What plant has a varietal that is holy? Sage, mint, or basil? Basil. What drink was invented by pharmacist John Pemberton? Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, or Pepsi? Coca-Cola. Which musician would have turned 90 in 2025? Otis Redding, Elvis Presley, or Jimi Hendrix? Elvis Presley. In which U.S. state was basketball invented by the Canadian-born James Naismith? Massachusetts, Maine, or Minnesota? Massachusetts. What is the degree abbreviation for Bachelor of Architecture? BAR, BARC, or BARCH? BARCH. What animal filled with explosives was hidden in German coal bunkers by British Special Operations in World War II? Cat, rat, or rabbit? Rat. What was the first television drama? The King's Tailor, The Queen's Messenger, or The Emperor's Pastor? The Queen's Messenger. Where in the human body is the mammary gland? Lower back, skull, or chest wall? Chest wall. What record is accomplished for the 777 summits on 7 continents? Highest summits 3 times, summits completed in under 3 days, or first, second, and third highest mountains? First, second, and third highest mountains. Which ingredient is a physical exfoliator? AHA, CHA, or THA? AHA. What is the solar system's boundary wall called? Heliogram, helioduro, or the heliopause? The heliopause. What is Mexico's national flower? Bougainvillea, dahlia, or jasmine? The dahlia. How many separate but interconnected caves make up the Gieta Grotto in Lebanon? 2, 3, or 4? 2. Which country was the 13th century poet Rumi from? Iran, Syria, or Afghanistan? Afghanistan. Which sport is focused on in the 2024 documentary America's Sweethearts? Dance, gymnastics, or cheerleading? Cheerleading. What is the technical term for octopus tentacles? Legs, torso, or arms? Arms. What substance flooded the streets of Lebedian, Russia, after a PepsiCo warehouse collapsed in 2017? Pepsi, fruit juice, or water? Fruit juice. Where was the first Mardi Gras celebration in the U.S.? Louisiana, Tennessee, or Alabama? Alabama. What was the Piaggio Ape marketed as when it was introduced in 1948? Pico truck, Spritz Blitz, or Vespa car? Vespa car. Which jewelry brand hasn't changed its logo since 1900? Cartier, Van Cleef & Arpels, or Tiffany & Company? Cartier. What color is the Sultan Ahmed Mosque in Istanbul? Gold, white, or blue? Blue. Which Victorian-era writer's real name was Mary Ann Evans? George Eliot, Jane Austen, or Thomas Hardy? George Eliot. What is the longest-running multi-sport event in history after the Olympics? Commonwealth Games, Deaflympics, or Pan American Games? Deaflympics. Which comedian released a comedy special, Inside, in 2021? Dave Chappelle, Aziz Ansari, or Bo Burnham? Bo Burnham. What is the snack that smiles back? Doritos, Pop-Tarts, or Goldfish? Goldfish. What was the World War II sun gun weapon researched by the Nazis? Space reactor, giant mirror, or man-made wildfire? Giant mirror. What entertainment format was marketed as DiscoVision? Compact disc, flip disc, or laser disc? Laser disc. What color robes aren't worn by the Dalai Lama? Burgundy, saffron, or jade? Jade. How many teeth does a snail have? Between 1,000 and 2,000, between 1,000 and 7,000, or between 1,000 and 12,000? between 1,000 and 12,000. Which fruit is technically radioactive? Kiwi, banana, or papaya? Banana. Where in South America is Gran Salar de Uyuni, the largest salt flat in the world? Bolivia, Paraguay, or Chile? Bolivia. Which religion has the ritual of misogi? Shinto, Sikhism, or Taoism? Shinto. What speech was given by Otto Wels against the Enabling Act in 1933 Germany? You cannot take our freedom, you cannot take our honor, or you cannot take our country. You cannot take our honor. What tool is the titular reference of an animated 1960s television series? Quern, Arrowhead, or Flintstone? Flintstone. Which 1975 typhoon caused several dam failures across East Asia? Typhoon Nora, Typhoon Nola, or Typhoon Nina? Typhoon Nina. What is the correct format for writing the date in the US? Day, month, year, month, day, year, or year, month, day? Month, day, year. Where was the first traffic light built in the US in 1914? Michigan, Ohio, or Indiana? Ohio. Which family members was Cleopatra married to? Uncles, brothers, or cousins? Brothers. What architectural style is the turning torso skyscraper in Malmö, Sweden? Neo-modernist, neo-futurist, or neo-classicist? Neo-futurist. What happens to our heart rate when human beings are bored? It plateaus, increases, or decreases? Increases. In which country is the Mazenno Bridge, the most extended ridge of the Himalayas mountain range? Pakistan, China, or Nepal? Pakistan. How much are US women's national soccer team players paid per year? Around 99,000, around 150,000, or around 200,000? Around 99,000. What is public figure and entrepreneur Brian Johnson dedicated to? Space exploration, economic development, or anti-aging? Anti-aging. Where was the 2003 Rose Revolution? Georgia, Armenia, or Azerbaijan? Georgia. What real animal was used for the film Home Alone? Tarantula, tiger, or python? Tarantula. What do citronella ants smell like? Lemon, orange, or lime? Lemon. How long is the Perito Moreno Glacier in Patagonia? Around 3 kilometers, around 13 kilometers, or around 30 kilometers? Around 30 kilometers. Which musician was announced as a Lancôme ambassador in 2024? Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, or Chappell Roan? Olivia Rodrigo. In what season do human nails grow more quickly? Temperate spring, hot summer, or mild fall? Hot summer. Which state is not part of territory disputes over Pangong Tso Lake? Nepal, India, or China? Nepal. Which extinct animal was successfully cloned from frozen genetic material in 2025? Woolly mammoth, saber-toothed tiger, or direwolf? Direwolf. Where did the Cuju game originate? China, Mongolia, or Laos? China. What type of medal is received by Nobel Prize winners? White gold, rose gold, or green gold? Green gold. Which airline currently operates the longest nonstop flight in 2025? Cathay Pacific, Singapore Airlines, or Malaysia Airlines? Singapore Airlines. What is increased in saliva during exercise? Protein, fat, or sugar? Protein. What type of pizza is associated with New England? Beach pizza, clam pizza, or boat pizza? Beach pizza. What country's independence was the topic of Jawaharlal Nehru's 1947 speech, Trust with Destiny? Vietnam, Iran, or India? India. What did World War II's Operation Cornflakes involve? mail bags of fake letters, propaganda in food packages, or farmland spy routes? Mail bags of fake letters. And our bonus question, which restaurant serves the double quarter pounder? Let us know the answer in the comments. And of course, how well you did with our quiz class Einstein rewards. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.